The Rock to introduce his new Corporate WWE Champion. WWE stars who are ruled out for the rest of 2025. WWE canceled plans for Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar resurfaces again. Liv Morgan's injury will keep her out of action for months. WWE changes tag team title plans after Liv Morgan's injury. Zelina Vega shocked by her title reign. MJF confronted by a fan at hotel after controversial AEW Grand Slam stunt. Triple H's WWE direction is being ruined. Let's dive right in. Stars who are ruled out for the rest of 2025. WWE superstars often face brutal injuries due to the intense physical demands of the ring. These setbacks can keep them out of action for months, sometimes affecting their careers for years. Right now, 3 WWE stars are confirmed to miss the rest of 2025. Here's a look at who they are and why they won't be back until 2026. Number 1. Liv Morgan's brutal injury on Raw. Liv Morgan faced Kairi Sane on Raw this week, but the match took a bad turn for the Judgment Day star. During the bout, Morgan suffered a real injury when she dislocated her shoulder after a rough fall. Reports say the women's tag team champion needs surgery, which will keep her out of WWE for several months. Her recovery is expected to take about 6 months, meaning Morgan is likely done for 2025 and won't return to the ring until 2026. Number 2. Zoe Stark's tough road to recovery. Zoe Stark's last match was in May 2025, a triple threat clash against Kairi Sane and Rhea Ripley. She hurt her knee badly after a rough landing from a high-flying move. Since then, Stark has been absent from WWE storylines and written off TV. She recently shared that she's training at the UFC Performance Institute to aid her recovery. However, reports confirm the Raw star will likely stay off WWE programming for the rest of 2025, pointing to a return in 2026. Number 3. Kevin Owens battles lingering neck issues. Kevin Owens has been dealing with neck problems for a while, which worsened around WrestleMania 41, forcing him to step away from WWE. The prizefighter said his neck issues started after a match with Rey Mysterio on the January 17, 2025 episode of SmackDown. Despite the pain, Owens kept competing until Elimination Chamber 2025, where he beat Sami Zayn in a standout match. In a recent interview, the former Universal Champion said he's avoiding neck surgery for now, hoping to heal naturally. While his return date isn't set, Owens' comments suggest recovery will take a while, likely keeping him out for the rest of 2025. UE canceled plans for Drew McIntyre. WWE had big ideas for Drew McIntyre to team up with a top faction, but those plans fell apart, leaving fans wondering what could have been. A star recently opened up about the scrapped storyline. Joe Coffey, in an interview on Reffin' It Up, revealed that Gallus was set to join the main roster and work with Drew McIntyre. However, those plans never happened, and Gallus was released from WWE. Coffey shared how there were hints of a main roster move and a storyline with McIntyre, but despite high hopes, it never came together, which left him frustrated. And we heard for a long time we may be going to the main roster and doing something with Drew, who knows? I understand Drew is on the run of a career and is doing some amazing stuff, but we had little teases of it, like being in the Survivor Series program and the Royal Rumble program as Gallus, the only NXT people, and we're like, that's really strange. And a lot of people were talking about it, and we thought, well, maybe it's going to happen soon, but it didn't happen. You know, it was just a little bit frustrating. Coffey also vented about his time in WWE, saying he never got to show fans his full potential in NXT. He explained that Gallus spent much of their time helping other stars, which he was okay with, but it meant the group wasn't used to their fullest. For myself, I feel a little bit personally frustrated because I feel as if I didn't get to scratch the surface of what I can do in NXT. We were holding a lot of hands at times, which is totally fine. And there's a lot of people who aren't from this world who are trying to learn, and we were, essentially helping teach them in the ring. Brock Lesnar resurfaces again. WWE's roster is stacked with huge stars, but fans keep dreaming up ways for Brock Lesnar to make a comeback. The Beast Incarnate keeps popping up in random photos, and now a new gym snapshot has set social media on fire. Lesnar hasn't been in WWE since his SummerSlam 2023 brawl with Cody Rhodes. He's also been caught up in serious legal troubles, which likely explains why WWE hasn't brought him back. With over 2 years gone since his last appearance, it seems unlikely TKO will welcome Lesnar back unless he's cleared of all charges. Still, he seems to be living his best life out of the spotlight. The latest photo of the former Universal Champion at a gym shows him looking absolutely shredded, sparking tons of chatter online. A few months ago, NXT World Champion Obafemi spoke on No Contest Wrestling about his dream of facing Lesnar in the ring. He's convinced their match would be a total spectacle. packing arenas and stealing the show. It's going to be carnage. Yeah, it's going to be carnage. It's one of those things you have to see because you can't explain what it's going to be. I think Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar sells tickets. I think it's the main event of whatever show it's going to be on, and I think it's going to be incredible. With no sign of Lesnar returning to WWE anytime soon, it's anyone's guess if Femi will ever get his shot at that dream match down the line. Liv Morgan's injury will keep her out of action for months. Liv Morgan took a hard hit on the June 16th episode of Raw, suffering a dislocated shoulder that's now confirmed to be serious. The news just got worse for the women's tag team champion. Sean Ross Sapp reported on Fightful Select that sources in WWE say Liv Morgan's injury will require surgery. She's expected to be out for several months due to the shoulder injury. The setback has forced WWE to scramble and rework their creative plans, especially since Morgan was recently involved in a storyline with Nikki Bella, which will likely need to be scrapped or changed. With her recovery expected to take a while, this is rough timing as WWE heads toward Evolution. It's an even bigger blow since SummerSlam is set for Morgan's home state of New Jersey. We're wishing her a quick and strong recovery, hoping she can return to the ring soon. What do you think about Liv Morgan's injury and its impact? WWE changes tag team title plans after Liv Morgan's injury. The June 16th episode of Raw took a grim turn when Liv Morgan got injured during her match with Kairi Sane. The two were trading blows until Sane dodged a kick, causing Morgan to crash awkwardly on the mat, dislocating her shoulder. Reports now confirm she needs surgery and will be out for months. According to Bodyslam.net's Corey Hayes, who posted on his official X Twitter account, WWE is now forced to overhaul major storylines, including plans for the Women's Tag Team Championship, currently held by Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. A lot of creative plans are currently being worked on and changed due to Liv Morgan's injury. Major blow. This includes the Women's Tag Team Championships as well, reads Corey's tweet. After news broke about Morgan's injury and her long recovery, Kairi Sane, who defeated Morgan twice, spoke out about the incident. Sane, who returned to wrestling in May after her own injury struggles, shared a heartfelt message on social media. She explained that she never wants to hurt her opponents and trains hard to entertain fans. Any injury in her matches weighs heavily on her, and she wished Morgan a quick recovery while vowing to bring excitement, not harm, to the ring. One of the most painful things for me is when a match is decided not by wrestling, but because of an injury. I always step into the ring with deep respect for my opponent, and I train hard every day to give the audience something they can truly enjoy. Even if it was never intentional, knowing that someone was hurt in a match with me is something I carry deeply. It breaks my heart. I hope with all my heart for a full and speedy recovery. I will continue to give my all, hoping to bring excitement, not pain, to the ring, wrote Sane. It'll be intriguing to see how WWE reshapes the Women's Tag Team Championship plans with Morgan sidelined. Zelina Vega shocked by her title reign. A WWE champion recently confessed to being completely caught off guard after snagging a title. After countless failed attempts, the star didn't expect to walk away with the gold this time. In a USA Today interview, Zelina Vega opened up about her women's U.S. title victory on the April 25, 2025 episode of SmackDown. She admitted the win hit her like a bolt from the blue. It wasn't until she stared at the championship in her hands that the reality sank in, leaving her so overwhelmed she covered her face in disbelief. It's as much a shock to you guys as it was to me. I just realized that as I looked at the title, I was like, oh, expletive. This is real. That's when I grabbed my face. That's when I realized it was real. Vega also shared how crushing it was to come up short every time she neared a title win. Though each loss taught her something, she feared fans might lose interest if she kept falling short too often. If I'm being honest, it was very deflating each and every single time for me too, but I think I always got something out of each title opportunity that I got. Despite Chelsea Green's protests, her rivalry with Vega has been a standout in WWE recently. Green lost the US title to Vega and failed to reclaim it in their rematch. The feud has showcased both stars' strengths and even roped in the Secret Service. Now Vega faces bigger challenges as champion, but she has a shot to carve out a legendary title reign. MJF confronted by a fan at hotel after controversial AEW Grand Slam stunt. MJF is known for pushing buttons, but his antics at AEW Grand Slam Mexico took the heat to dangerous new heights. The former AEW World Champion sparked such a fierce reaction from the Arena Mexico crowd that one fan went as far as confronting him at his hotel after the show. According to Fightful Select, AEW sources said a fan went after MJF at the hotel after the show because of his controversial actions during the Mexico City event. Luckily, MJF wasn't injured and, staying true to his heel persona, brushed it off with a laugh, even taking pride in the chaos. He was said to have been okay and laughed the situation off and was proud of it. At the June 18th Grand Slam broadcast, MJF strutted to the ring draped in red, white, and blue, waving an American flag in the heart of Mexico's legendary wrestling venue. That alone fired up the crowd, but he didn't stop there. After a fierce brawl with Mystico, MJF got disqualified, then crossed a major line by unmasking the iconic luchador and wearing Mystico's mask himself. Leading up to the event, MJF had also been slamming Mystico in harsh promos, targeting one of Mexico's most beloved stars. The crowd's rage was raw and personal, and the hotel confrontation proves MJF's role in the Hurt Syndicate is hitting its mark story-wise. But it also raises questions about where kayfabe ends and real danger begins, a tightrope every great heel walks. Do you think MJF went too far at Grand Slam Mexico, or was this the exact fire he was aiming to ignite? Triple H's WWE direction is being ruined. Triple H's ascension to the top authority in WWE has led to a lot of changes in the company. However, wrestling veteran Vince Russo thinks that the CCO is fumbling major opportunities in his attempt to be different from Vince McMahon. Before Vince McMahon departed from the company, he faced considerable criticism from fans for his handling of stars and storylines. Understandably, the game attempted to switch things up after he became the head of creative. According to Vince Russo, Triple H's primary motivation for the altered programming is his desire to be liked by fans and to differentiate himself from Vince McMahon. Speaking on Writing with Russo, the WWE veteran stated, "We know how the internet wrestling feels about Vince McMahon. They wanted Vince out for years and years and years and years. Is part of Triple H's crusade he is beloved by these marks? Is part of crusade is I am going to do everything the exact opposite way that Vince McMahon would have done it, because that's what it seems like to me." Vince Russo thinks there is too much politics in the business, which is affecting Triple H's decisions in the creative direction. Speaking on the same episode of Writing with Russo, the WWE veteran believes the game has to either focus on creative or only work with politics. "I think this guy is so marred in politics. He is missing the simplest things. I really do. Because like I said, when I was in the middle of the politics at TNA and WCW, I could not give 100% to creative. And I know that's a part of this, because these are all layups, Chris. This is a layup. You don't need 20 people in a room and have a creative meeting for 3 hours. What is Triple H planning next? Only time will tell." The Rock to introduce his new corporate WWE champion. John Cena has steered his way back to the top of the industry since aligning with The Rock at Elimination Chamber. While Cena was on a losing streak over the past couple of years, he ended up dethroning Cody Rhodes and won the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. The franchise player is now set to defend his title against CM Punk at WWE Night of Champions, which has the fans hyped up for the final match in their historic rivalry. While the last real champion is engaged in some big-time feuds, The Rock could change the landscape of the company. The final boss cares about nothing but business at this point, and he is well aware of the fact that Cena retiring as a heel won't be the best idea. To turn the franchise player back into a babyface and keep him as one of the biggest stars in the industry, he could bring out a new face who could take charge on the roster. Drew McIntyre has been out of action for the past few weeks, and he could be named The Rock's new associate. Further, the Scottish Warrior could unleash an attack on Cena and dethrone him as the undisputed WWE champion to become the new corporate champion. This could lead to Cena turning into a babyface, kicking off a long-awaited feud against Drew McIntyre. Fans will have to wait and see what WWE has in store for the stars in the future. Both Drew McIntyre and John Cena were involved in the men's Elimination Chamber match this year, but neither man could engage in action against the other that night. Before they could battle it out, Damian Priest eliminated Drew McIntyre, which turned out to be quite a surprising move from the company. After John Cena's massive heel turn, McIntyre addressed the same and stated that he would have prevented millions of hearts from being broken if he could have delivered a Claymore to the franchise player. So many people were so shocked about John Cena's actions, like I didn't come out on SmackDown last week and tell everyone what kind of person he is. I would have prevented so many people having their heart broken when I Claymored him in his big stupid head in the chamber. But Damian Priest had to slither in and steal the pin from behind, taking away my last chance at the world title at WrestleMania, said Drew McIntyre. While both Cena and McIntyre couldn't engage in action, a match between them is expected to take place sometime in the future. Time will tell what WWE has in store for the stars next.